Hello, this is Trevor from Telecom Training, and in this video we're going to be talking about Yagi antennas. As a matter of fact, this is the first video in a series of videos on Yagi antennas. So if you want to learn about Yagi antennas, you're getting in at the right point. Now, have you ever wondered why a Yagi antenna can reach so much further with just a few metal rods on a boom? Well, if you have, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to explain why a Yagi antenna works, what each part actually does, and how you would use this knowledge to build a better antenna yourself, even if you are brand new to antennas. No advanced math is necessary, no confusing jargon, just clear explanations that actually make sense. Let's start with something important. A Yagi antenna is not powerful. It does not amplify your signal. What it does instead is focus energy. Think of it like a flashlight. The bulb in a flashlight doesn't get brighter, but the reflector and lens force the light in one direction. A Yagi does the same thing, but with radio waves. Every Yagi antenna has three main parts. First, the driven element. This is the only part connected to your cable. It's the part that actually transmits or receives energy. Second, the reflector, located behind the driven element. And third, one or more directors placed in front of the driven element. Each of these elements has a specific job. Let's talk about the reflector. When the driven element radiates energy, some of that energy naturally goes backward. The reflector is slightly longer than the driven element. Because of that, it causes the backward energy to lag in phase and then bounce back to the driven element. The reflected energy would then add to the driven element's energy already going forward towards the directors. This is called constructive interference, and it's one of the main reasons a Yagi works so well. Now let's look at the directors. Directors are slightly shorter than the driven element. So instead of reflecting energy, they pull the signal forward. Each director narrows the beam a little more with a shorter element, concentrating energy in one direction. But here's something beginners often misunderstand. Adding directors doesn't magically multiply range. After a point, each extra director gives smaller and smaller gains and can even reduce bandwidth if overdone. This is why antenna's design is about balance, not just adding metal. Next up is forward gain. A Yagi antenna achieves forward gain because signals from the driven element and the director elements arrive in phase in front of the antenna. As these waves travel forward, they reinforce each other, adding together in the ear. This constructive addition concentrates energy in one direction, creating a stronger forward signal even though no extra power is added. Now the third is noise reduction. A narrow beam hears less interference from the sides and rear. This combination makes Yagi antennas extremely effective for long distance links, weak signals, rural internet, and point-to-point communication. If you are planning to build a Yagi antenna, here's the most important takeaway. The spacing, length, and placement of each element matters just as much as the number of elements. In the next video, I'll show you what happens when the reflector length is wrong. and how a single mistake can completely change a Yagi's performance. If you are serious about building antennas that actually work, this is where it starts. If this video was helpful and you would like to see more videos like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.